Okay, this is a meeting of the Lunenburg Water Commission, May 11th, 4 p.m. It's being recorded for rebroadcast over Lunenburg Public Access. Our first agenda item is to review and sign the warrants, so we will do so.
First installment for Mackey's.
Yeah, so, but we bought the product for that?
No, that's all the material that's in it.
Right, but we bought the product, they installed the line. We don't pay
Yeah.
for labor.
No, that includes the labor.
Okay, so, yeah,
That's the labor and material, that's the whole thing.
Okay.
Except for the actual bridge portion. So from Richards Way to the other side of the bridge is on the state Mass DOT. We took from the other side of the bridge to Tilton.
okay.
Gotcha.
So they did towards Fitchburg, and we
Correct.
did towards Lunenburg.
That's
Good.
Got
That
a
was
pen
that
that
first.
doesn't write.
Okay.
What's this Virgilio?
That was what we were just talking about.
Oh, okay.
We paid for the Lunenburg side of the Mackey Bridge, and the state paid for the work done on
Oh,
the
I
opposite
thought we
side.
were only gonna pay for the pipe, but we're not, we're paying for.
No, they went out to bid for the installation of the water line. And there was a portion of the distance was the state's, and then there was a portion that was ours. So we paid, it was $179 a foot, and we paid for the footage of just our pit. Paying for this.
How many feet was it?
It was 278.
Okay.
So that bill was not for the total.
Yeah, well,
amount, it
understood.
was 188, so.
He wasn't here.
I don't
Oh, you weren't here?
Yep.
I wasn't here.
Okay. Mr. Woodward, I would accept a motion to approve the minutes of April 27th, 2022.
So moved.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
I wasn't here.
Our third agenda item is a discussion on the meeting for the article regarding watershed protection, the town meeting article that we had. It didn't pass. So I don't know if, you know.
That,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we'll just look at it again. Right now, we're using our map from 2009 that still has multiple zone ones on it.
Yep.
And whatever the zoning bylaws as far as the community goes that were present before are still present now. Any other discussion on that?
No?
So we had, yep,
I did not hear, or I did hear from John Fortune, if you're going to the next one, and
Yes.
Paula Bertram, and unfortunately, neither of them could make it from, as board members of the Lake Association.
so I do see we have members from the public. Is anybody a member of the board for the Hickory Hills Landowners Association? Is anybody here regarding this article? This
Agenda.
this agenda item?
Well, I'm here to listen and
Okay.
Because of the interest in this
Okay,
article. I wasn't sure how to answer.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Did you happen to watch, we've had 2 meetings so far on this, and they've both been recorded. Have you watched those meetings? They're very informative. We've discussed a lot of different items over a multiple of hours, so I didn't want to review all of that if we didn't have to.
I hadn't to this point, but I will
Okay.
go back and do that. Thank you.
Yeah, they're both recorded meetings, the last 2 meetings, I believe.
Yes,
Yep.
they're all
Yeah,
up.
and it was, a lot of the stuff was discussed at length, as well as the town meeting article, and I wish more people would watch it.
Yep. There's even engineers we had in here and everything on the first of those 2 meetings.
Yeah,
So-
so if you have, where we're engaged in this now, if you have any specific questions relating to our discussions with the Hickory Hills Landowner Board of Trustees regarding what we're proposing for the well.
I have a curiosity. You
Yeah.
said, seems to me, you said something about you were going to use the 2009 map,
Yep,
and one of the questions was, there were a lot of maps, and at the town meeting, it was changed to, no, we're gonna be going by the 21 and 22, whatever the change was
Right.
on the typo. I was curious.
the typo was.
Or is that in the other meetings?
No,
Covered in the other
no,
meetings?
so the typo was when Adam brought this forward, he just didn't reference the right year of the updated map that we were going to approve at town meeting, but we didn't approve that
Chairs
map.
around, they're on wheels if you wanna move them somewhere.
Yeah.
So because the bylaw changes recommended by our hydrogeologist and DEP got shot down, there was we couldn't vote on a new map.
Right.
So now we're back to the map from 2009. And the
That's-
bylaws are still the original bylaws that we've always had and not modified.
All right, I'll go back and.
So,
Sure, basically what was already set in place is still there. That gets recommended to us from basically DEP.
Okay.
And, you know, we push it forward to a town bylaw. If it gets shot down, you guys shot it down, we just stick with what we got.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So where, the reference versions of, I guess, the 2009 map is what's in force at the moment?
Yes.
Where can that map, the reference official version of that map be found?
So we're working to get it on the GIS system with the town.
Okay, good.
And we also have a copy of the map here, if you want to view
Physical
it
paper
all.
copy.
Yes.
I think we have it on, didn't we post it on Facebook too?
I don't think that was in 2009, that was the one we were.
Oh,
That was the one we were
proposing, okay.
proposing.
So it was on the town's website, the GIS layer, it was a layer. And I don't know what happened, if they got a new program, something happened where it wasn't imported to the new program that runs on the town. So the one that's there now isn't accurate, so one from probably
Yeah,
the early 80s.
Right.
I've looked at the GIS system, and there is a water supply protection district map there, but it's, most of the details missing.
Yes, it didn't show Hickory Hills, didn't show Keatings, and that was one of DEP's big things was, they're like, we don't understand. All the other towns are protecting your zone 2s and 3s, but you don't even protect your own. And I'm like, oh yes, we do, and I showed her the map, and I said, this was adopted, and she said, that's not on the town webpage.
Right.
And so that's when we got into our engineer trying to redo the map to get it on the webpage.
I'll watch for that on the town GIS.
Yes, I just talked to Adam at the planning coordinator to have our engineer redo the GIS program
Right.
so we can attach it.
So the intention was to get the new map voted in, so that we don't have to do this again at a later date. But now, the issue's dead, and at a later date, whenever it comes up again, then we'll look at it again.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
We had a couple people join us. Any members of the Hickory Hills board?
No,
Okay.
past member, but no.
Okay. Have you watched our last two meetings?
No.
Okay, so we've gone over hours of work over our last two meetings. If you have a specific question that you might want to have answered, but I recommend that you watch our last two meetings, because we've gone really round and round with the whole subject, and there's a lot of information. We had engineers involved, and I'd recommend that, definitely. So, do you have any questions for us?
No,
Okay.
we're just interested in where that's going with that well. And
That would, those two meetings give a lot of insight into what we're trying to do. So I would recommend that.
Okay.
If nothing else, you've succeeded in getting,
And people will show up, which is great.
We appreciate it. I'd love to see it.
Okay, we're gonna move on to old business. So this is a carryover discussion, so Hickory Hills treatment, we really don't have anything on that.
Correct.
Correct,
Right
yeah,
now.
we were waiting for them to get back to us.
Mass Ave water main replacement,
Well, the one on 2A is still in the design phases. The one on Mass Ave is complete.
Yep.
Water main's in, tested, all the services are connected. It's all done, and then all in service, so.
good.
So
So we can take that, bye-bye.
No?
Check.
That one can go away. And then we're still talking about engineering and consultants.
Correct, right. So the GIS one that was with Stantec, so I say we'll see how it progresses. If it doesn't move quickly, it's already been 3 days, I haven't heard back from them. So there are plenty of other engineering firms, so I would probably, if I don't hear back from them, I'm just gonna move to another one, have them do that GIS map.
Yeah, we need to get that done.
And,
I think we need to get that done at this point because that's gonna be our map for a while.
Sure.
So,
And, okay.
I mean, I would assume.
Yes, it'll be
Yeah.
a map till we do some kind of DEP.
Until
Right.
it's brought up again, I don't see, it's been 12 years since we had to
Right.
look at it, so it'll probably be another 12
Yeah,
years.
They usually typically look at it when you go for a permit. So we went for increasing our permit for Lancaster Ave, well, that's why all this came up.
Yep. Okay.
And, yeah,
Any more engineering consultants?
no, that's good.
All right, so that's old business. And then we have Commissioner Superintendent additions.
So the only one I want to mention is the Hickory Hills well. I'm going to turn it back on, put it to waste, do water quality samples again.
Yep.
Last time when I ran it, the water quality, the iron and manganese levels dropped significantly. And so this time I want to do samples of the lake and the well, so we can get an idea of
Yep.
what's going on. So
I think it's a good idea.
just thought-
'cause
Great idea.
You're gonna do the same test you're gonna just grab some lake water, do the same
Yep.
test that you do for the well water.
Right.
I think it's worthwhile.
All cheap tests too. Nothing.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I won't do like SOCs are very expensive. I won't do any of that stuff.
Okay. Sounds good. Any other things going on?
No.
Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah,
John, you all set?
yeah, I have nothing new.
I got nothing new right now. So now we get to our public comment section and, I didn't do this before, but if somebody did have a public comment, you would state your name and address, just so, we have something so we can get back to you. It's just kind of the same thing as like a town meeting or a selectmen's meeting type format. So, do we have any comment from the public?
Well, I can explain who I am. You'll probably remember me from the town meeting. Carl Stretchmeyer,
Yeah. Yeah,
Valley Road.
yeah. Any questions about how that went? Because I was really surprised. I thought we were pretty, it came upon fairly quickly. There were some things that probably should have been addressed in it. And I'll tell you personally, I was kind of surprised on how detailed amendments were and discussions were on all the articles and how little true discussion was had for our zoning bylaw change, because there was not a great effect on what we were trying to do, and we weren't trying to do it. This all came about from trying to increase a capacity and increase a permit on one of our wells on Lancaster Ave. DEP, our regulating body, told us that we needed to look at and bring to the town some bylaw changes. Well beyond our capacity and our knowledge, we hired a professional hydrogeologist that worked with DEP to come up with these modifications. We brought them to Adam at the planning office and brought them to the community the way we were supposed to. Little bit of oversight because we were concerned with Lancaster Ave, and I can understand anybody that lives at Hickory Hills, when you take out boating and fishing, that, I'm sure that brings up a lot of discussion.
You got
We checked with the town attorney, our attorney, and DEP, and the definitions we got from them is any pre-existing conditions would still be allowed. As a safety net, if you watch our last meeting, we discussed that because DEP is our regulatory body, and we hired a hydrogeologist, that the changes should not come from us as board members, because we're doing what DEP asks of us. That a couple simple changes could have came from residents, and we would have had an updated map and our updated regulations. And I just wish we could have had a little more discussion, but I know there was a big push in one direction, and unfortunately, we're just back to where we were. So I encourage the public interest. I also encourage people to watch our meetings, because there was a lot of stuff at town meeting that was discussed and then rediscussed at town meeting. And I think that having the meetings televised and rebroadcast, it gives people an opportunity to learn more about what we truly do. We're not here to be malicious and do things with malintent. So, you know,
I certainly understand that.
so it just, it seems like when the water district interacts with the town, it's oil and water. So, which oil goes to the surface and evaporates and doesn't affect the groundwater. So, that's all I have from my end on that, which is kind of a public comment of my own. Does anybody else have any kind of a public comment or any comment from the board? Okay, I'm gonna move that we adjourn this meeting and call it a day.